someone who also dropped their debut album, Chance the Rapper. Dave, I'll let you get on your high horse about that. Go ahead.
I mean, it's not even, my horse is fucking real low with this, man. Chance the Rapper drops his debut album the same day as YBN Corday. Where's the lie? Well, let me tell you where the lie is. Chance the Rapper won Best Rap Album 2.5 years ago at the Grammys in early 2017. Yes, Coloring Book was initially presented as a mixtape, but then he ran it as an album. That settles that. Not to mention, when Coloring Book came out, Chance took $500K from Apple Music to make it a streaming exclusive. Remember when that was still a thing on the streaming services? Chance the Rapper made $21.5 million in 2018, good for 14th on the Hip Hop Cash Kings list. He didn't even tour last year.
That's crazy.
To call this a debut album is just completely valueless, meaningless thing. And also just super disingenuous because he's the most mainstream of rappers now. And that's not even a judgment statement. I'm just saying it's a stupid
he made a Super
thing
Bowl
to project.
commercial. Yeah.
He did.
He's super mainstream.
He did the Kit Kat jingle. Like, you've debuted. Like, this does not. And frankly, my feelings about the album, the feelings about the music, are influenced by the grand projections you're putting on this album and calling it your debut. And it just rings really hollow to me. And I just find it really annoying because, again, as people know, I'm a fucking big Chance the Rapper fan. I listened to Aston Rap the day it came out. I've seen him perform 3 times. I'm a big Chance fan. But stop doing this. It's really stupid. That's it. I'm
done. I guess my question for you is the big day, his debut album. At least that's what he's calling it. Was this a good album?
Well, it's really long.
Yeah,
there's a lot of fat on it. Like agonizingly long. This is what, an hour 10 minutes.
This ain't a prime cut of steak, dog.
No, and that's very curious coming from Chance, a guy who has always been really thoughtful in his sequencing and the overall vibes of his projects. Even the Merry Christmas Little Mama Jeremiah stuff was pretty tight, And Coloring Book obviously had a really tight gospel inspired vibe. And obviously Acid Rap is basically flawless. Like to then have your debut of all things, your big debut, be demonstratively less focused and more scattershot than your lauded mixtapes. It's not even like the rock cliche. I like the old albums more. It's just that it feels like you tried less on the new album. It's so is it a good album? I have a hard time calling it bad because I don't know if there's a lot of stuff that's bad here. It's just I think the intent, the purpose, the message is very unclear. And I think for anyone who's a big Chance fan, I have a hard time understanding how you wouldn't be disappointed in this. Now,
right.
Is it bad? I don't think it's bad, but it's incredibly underwhelming.
I would agree. I don't think it's bad. But I think it's important to put this into context. So Coloring Book drops 2016. Since then, like you said, he is a high grossing rapper. Number 14 last year. He is incredibly mainstream. I mean, he is a shill for Kit Kat and what was it, Doritos? Is that the one he did with Backstreet Boys, that commercial?
Yeah. One note on that too, I just forgot. So Coloring Book should be perceived as the debut album, right? As we just said.
Yeah.
Going off that, Acid Rap, he covered the Fader off of that mixtape. In end of 2015, before Coloring Book was out, he was the first independent, unsigned artist to be on SNL. He did all of this with just that mixtape. So to call Coloring Book not your debut, again, is just kind of ignoring all the stuff Chance accomplished, as you were just saying. So it's I think people kind of forget about the context just because he's he's all over the place. But I mean, if you really think about it, it's quite the mental gymnastics, in my opinion.
Right. He has been a symbol for Chicago, and especially a Chicago activist recently. He got married recently. He's had a lot of life changes go on. I think as I was listening to this album, my first listen, I texted this to you. I heard it very much as like a two half type album. The first half being like this lead up to this wedding, and then the skits kind of kick in, and there's a lot of emotions and up and down in the first half. And I felt like the second half was much more like a radio power hour where the songs kind of flow together. My second listen, I didn't hear it so much that way, but I heard it as somebody trying to grapple with this transition in their life and what it means to be married, what it means to be moving into, a later stage, I guess a more subdued, settled down stage in their life, in a sense. But I do agree, it felt scattered, and it felt like some of the songs on there were songs that were obvious things that could be put in commercials or put into video games, or that were just kind of fun, upbeat, maybe things that you could see on something like TikTok or something.
Yes.
Just kind of like those like grabby, like catchy songs, not necessarily something like you would have heard on Coloring Book, because that felt very curated to a specific message, whereas this felt kind of like, well, my message is somewhere in here, but there's also going to be these songs that people just kind of bob their head to, and that can be played at a wedding or something like that.
Right. Yeah, and the thing about Coloring Book, it's not like Chance just decided now to like collab with like capital R rappers on his own projects. Or no problem with 2 Chainz and Lil Wayne won Best Rap Performance at the Grammys, but No Problem really felt like it fit in Coloring Book, even if it's at the beginning of the track list. This time around, you have a song like Hot Shower with May in Tokyo and DaBaby, and it's a good DaBaby verse, like most of his
Yeah.
verses this year. But what I just don't like is hearing Chance do basic, normal contemporary rap. That's not what people want to hear from Chance, and that's also not his strength. He's not a special rapper when he's doing that. Um, and I think he was doing a little bit on Groceries, the loose single, from a few months ago. But that
Mm-hmm.
had a really fun Murder Beats beat, and it's good enough, but it's also just a loose track. On Hot Shower, though, just like, oh, here's Chance just kind of making a rap song with some other rappers.
Yep.
And while Tokyo and DaBaby are, solid or to good on the track, that track I feel like doesn't fit with anything else that it was around, and that just hasn't been a problem with him on past projects when he's collab with people, like, and it just, man, it's just weird because I just like as you said, the wedding vibe, the things changing in Chance's personal life clearly are framing the lyrical content in a certain sense, but I just don't think it's focused enough or at least accessible enough for the listener to like pull through, and like really hit home. And what you're left with is just like it feels like a lot of musing or just
Mm-hmm.
songs that are just completely out of left field. Um, and yeah, I've been having a hard time really sitting with the album because again, it's so long, and as I've been trying to go back and through, it really just feels like it really winds down uh, in the middle, but then there's like 6 more tracks.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's tough, man.
No, I agree with that. I think going back to my point, it almost feels like Chance is caught in between being these two different types of artists right now. There's the acid rap Coloring Book Chance, obviously, that has a vision and has something he's trying to say and something that he wants to write about. And I think there's also the persona Chance. The Ringer wrote a piece where he's kind of like the new Will Smith in a sense. And when you have that kind of persona, you need to make songs that are inoffensive and fun and get people moving. But that doesn't necessarily lend itself to a real artistic vision. It's very hard to blend those two things together. And I think that's kind of what came through. Now, does that make this a bad album or make any of these songs bad? Not necessarily, but I think that's probably what makes it feel so, scattered, so pulled apart. Is that I think he's trying to accomplish or hit too many bullseyes instead of just kind of focusing it down to one thing he's trying to do. That'd be my perception of it. But like we said, we like a lot of the stuff on this album. What songs or what moments stood out to you most?
Yeah. Early on, I liked Eternal a lot with Smino. Other
Mhm.
note, I think unlisting your features is super obnoxious. Don't do this.
So annoying.
Uh, but shout out Genius. I'll give Genius more clicks as a
Yep.
result. Whatever. Eternal with Smino, I really liked. I thought it's really a beat, and you kind of got like the swing with this, side blinks, don't dance like that. That's fun.
Hmm.
Um, I like the Steph bar. I made the three more famous than
Yep.
Steph.
Yep.
Great line, great bar. That song's fun. And then, honestly, my favorite tracks are almost all in a row for the most part, man. It's "Let's Go on the Run" with Knox Fortune. They collabed on All Night of Calling Book, like that a lot. Uh, "Big Fish" with Gucci, I like a lot. "Ball and
Hmm.
Flossin'" with
Yeah.
Shawn Mendes flipping the Brandy "I Wanna Be Down" one of her first hits onto an
Hmm.
EDM beat. Like that song is fucking like cheating. Love it. And then my favorite track, easily my favorite track, is "Handsome" with Megan Thee Stallion, and that reminds me of what I like about Chance the most. That song sounds like that could have been on Coloring Book, and Chance is super fun, and the song is really upbeat and really awesome to listen to, but it also has lyrically the kind of like PG nature that we expect from Chance. And also actually it's probably one of the best songs that fits the themes of his album, the themes he's trying to convey in terms of talking about his girl and how she's still pretty when she's pregnant and stuff like that. And it's very, very Chance, but also very much fitting this new thing he's trying to do. And then I think Megan's verse is really good, um, all the way through, even as she switches it up towards the back. So, but other than that, man, I'm having a hard time revisiting most of the tracks. Those like 4 or 5 are the ones I like the most.
Yeah, I had the last two you mentioned there, Ball and Flossin, and what was the other one you said? I'm sorry. I was
Let's Go on the Run,
Yeah,
Handsome,
yeah,
Big Fish.
Handsome. I really liked a lot. But I had I had a moment listening to this. I was driving in the car my first time listening to it, and when "Do You Remember" comes on, I was
Track
like,
two.
"Yeah, track two." I was like, "Who is this singing with him?" And I was like, then it got around the second time. I'm like, "Is this freaking Ben Gibbard from Death Cab for Cutie?" And it was, and I literally I almost like had to pull over because I was so surprised. Never a collaboration I thought I needed or would like, but Chance and Death Cab, really enjoyed that song. It's probably like the most nostalgic, sweetest song, and that was a song that I also felt like could have been on like Coloring Book, just in terms of like the theme of it and the sound. Yeah, you already mentioned it. Eternal is a really good one. Uh, yeah, and Ball and Flossin, just that song, like you said, it's like cheating. It's so freaking good. Shawn Mendes on the track, dog.
Yeah, the Greek
Okay.
god himself.
Yeah, that guy is, he can't miss right now. Yeah, but overall, I agree. It's not an album I think I'm gonna listen to straight through, but
I mean,
uh,
how do you have the time? It's just so long.
it's almost like he took the Migos route with this, where he's just like, here's a bunch of tracks, and they might sound like the other, they might, but you just pick whichever ones you want and enjoy it that way,
But
which is not what I expected from Chance, but that's where we are.
and it's not like he needs to
I don't know.
gain
It's
streams for
still
money. Like it's
no, it's just yeah, it's a little baffling, but we still love you, Chance. I'll definitely try to catch him in concert when he comes around NYC.